Everyone is anxiously waiting with bated breath to see the composition of the Government of National Unity, including rating agencies. Fitch says it would prefer an ANC and DA coalition for continuity purposes, but the agency's comments have been criticised by the African peer review mechanism, equating them to political interference. Dr. Mishek Mutize is the lead expert on credit rating agencies at the African peer review mechanism, and he joins me this evening. Thank you so much, Doctor, for your time this evening. I'd like to start off by finding out what is specifically problematic about Fitch's comments, not only on the Government of National Unity, but specifically their preferred configuration.
Well, it's problematic in several ways, but the most important one is that whatever the outcome that is going to come from the coalition talks or in the form of a GNU, whether there is going to be a positive policy direction is still going to be discounted by the market, given in a detrimental way, given the impact that such commentaries will have. So for us, we view this as a premature indication of the direction in which the rating agency is going to take a rating action, especially if that outcome involves the two parties that the rating agency clearly outline or characterize as populist parties.
So they're only saying what many political analysts, economic commentators, both here in South Africa and globally, have already said. But you're saying it's specifically problematic because they're a rating agency and they have the power to exercise a decision based on their preference.
Of course, you know, these institutions are not like any other institution, be it locally or internationally, because they have a huge public following or public credibility, and most of the investors, some of whom have not been in South Africa and rely solely on them for information. So if they issue such commentaries, especially in our view, prematurely, before they've even analyzed the outcome of such discussions, that jeopardizes the outcomes and the subsequent rating action that might follow. And that has got a very strong impact on the fiscal strength of the government. So we view that, number one, as premature because it's based on speculation. Why we think that is a very correct observation is that if you read the commentary by Fitch, it is awash with the words "we believe," "we think," or we assume. So that in itself, it clearly shows that it's out of speculation. And number two is that the three analysts who issued that statement is coming out of Hong Kong. And I'm sure you know that Fitch has removed all its offices from South Africa, which was the only office that was present in Africa. So this also is in line with some of the issues that we have raised, that analysts from the big three rating agencies are issuing statements that without understanding the context, because they are doing so from outside the continent. And also that, it's a highly subjective analysis, which is not factually based, because there is no any factual basis from which such a commentary has been issued.
Other regulations which state that global financial institutions, and in this case a ratings agency, shouldn't comment on political matters?
Well, the issue of regulation is what we have been raising, because some of the commentaries are not subject to the regulatory frameworks, especially in Africa, where we do such reviews and analysis. So the current discussion that we are bringing to the table of our member states is that such commentaries should be regulated, because if you look at in Europe, for instance, rating agencies are curtailed from issuing commentaries that cause knee-jerk responses to markets. And if there is any form of rating action or rating announcement, it is only supposed to be issued on a Friday after the close of business to give investors some time to digest such publication over the weekend. So this has been a very important issue that we are discussing in the African Union platform to enhance regulation so that some of those levers can be used to control such flow of information that can affect market dynamics.
Do you think the ANC would likely be influenced by such commentary from Fitch?
Well, I can't comment specifically on that, but from our view, because, in South Africa, there is a lot of talk about the markets, because it's understandable that South Africa is one of the most developed financial markets on the continent. So it speaks to the impact and the stake that businesses and financial markets have in the processes of arriving to an outcome in the ongoing negotiations. So for us, we think that whatever the outcome that comes out of these discussions will be best for the people of South Africa, which they have determined through the ballot.
Do you think Fitch stands to gain anything by making what you've described as a premature pronouncement?
Well, it's the race for publishing information. And, in the competition for information, whoever makes an analysis or put an opinion on the market first is the one that drives market sentiment and investor confidence. So it's an issue of trying to gain more attention from investors because, as you know, investors are always looking for any available source of credible information.
Do you think we're likely to see similar kinds of predictions or pronouncements, not necessarily the exact content, but on the election results and the formation of a government of national unity from perhaps other ratings agencies?
Well, if such commentaries are coming before the outcomes of the negotiations are concluded, we think it's still premature. Rating agencies are welcome to make commentaries, especially after such processes have been concluded, because of what we believe will be a manipulation of the ongoing processes. So from our standpoint, we think that it's much more ideal if rating agencies give a chance to the processes of negotiation and the policy positions that the ultimate government will take before they analyze such and make their own forecast based on facts, not speculating or suggesting.
Well, thank you so much for your time and your insights. That was Dr. Nishek Mutize from the African Peer Review Mechanism. Do stay with us on Newsnight. We'll be back shortly.